The society has many rules, and even though they're not exactly official, you should still try to avoid doing certain things in public. Being late, taking selfies, and even playing loud music are things that are not socially acceptable. But do you know what you should do and shouldn't do in public? We bet everyone has done the number 10 at some point. Never miss a video again by subscribing to our channel, and don't forget to hit the like button. Today, we're discussing 10 things you should never do in public. Taking selfies. Google reported that 24 billion selfies were made during the first year of Google Photos. Whether or not it's acceptable to take selfies in public is a never-ending debate. There are many reasons why this shouldn't be as acceptable as it is. While taking a picture of yourself doesn't really do any harm to anyone, it really depends on where in public you do it. There are still many places out there that don't allow photography in general, but you will also find that taking selfies is frowned upon on the memorial sites. Although done by many, you should never ever take selfies at a Holocaust memorial. And yet, we see people even doing yoga poses in places that are built as a tribute to the fallen victims. Sure, you can do it, but your picture might end up on a website called Youre. It was a project created to show what it looks like when you take selfies in places that aren't meant for them. The writer behind the Youre showed the jugglers and yogis, and the kings and queens of selfies, taking their pictures in inappropriate places. So before you take a selfie in public, make sure you aren't doing something that's disrespectful to the place you're at. Using the gym as your personal bathroom. Speaking of public places, you can find plenty of rules about unacceptable behaviors at the gym. One of them is feeling a little bit too free in your gym's bathroom. Although all gyms have showers that make you feel squeaky clean before you leave, being an exhibitionist might not be the smartest idea at the gym. At the same time, neither is staring at people who are walking around without their clothes on in your locker room. Gym locker rooms are a place where you have to respect people's privacy. This also means you're not allowed to body shame in any kind of way. That's exactly what happened to Danny Mathers, a model who thought it would be funny to take a picture of another gym goer in the showers. Danny laughed about the woman's body, but she was no longer laughing when her fans didn't appreciate her behavior. As a result, Danny lost her job and was banned from several gyms. She could even face criminal charges. Danny later apologized, saying she meant to send the photo only to her friend, but it doesn't change the fact that she disrespected her fellow gym goer. Think twice before you get too comfortable in gym locker rooms and make someone else feel uncomfortable. Occupying gym equipment is not using it. Anyone who's serious about their gym routine can tell you that one of their biggest pet peeves is the people who get distracted at the gym, but they still occupy the equipment. We're talking those who start taking selfies, check emails, and they might even be on call with work. Bodybuilding.com states that you should never hog a piece of equipment if your gym is packed. Share your equipment and rotate through sets. While you might not be on a strict time schedule, someone else could be. So don't keep the equipment to yourself and be considerate of others. You never know, you might even make a new friend. So what can you do when you see someone hogging the gym equipment but they're not really using it? This gym goer shared his experience when he confronted the guy who frequently hogged the equipment without using it. The guy who was hogging the equipment was so upset he told on him to the gym staff, but they didn't do him any favors. A gym is a place where you work out, but it's still a public place, so make sure you're respectful to others. Come to work when you're sick. This is a never-ending debate. Should you come to work even when you're sick? Of course, some of your bosses might disagree, but the truth is, coming to work when you're sick puts everyone at risk. There's a whole scientific explanation about what kinds of people tend to go to work sick. The data information of almost 200,000 individuals from 34 countries participated and was analyzed to determine the reasons why people would rather go to work sick than miss a day. Some of the reasons include the already established work conflicts and fear to lose the job or income. On the other hand, people have also reported they enjoy what they do so much that they don't really want to miss out because of a sick day. But whatever your reason, coming to work sick can have even bigger consequences than just your own sickness. Forbes notes that it's important to make sure you don't make other people contagious, as some of your coworkers might have children at home and other circumstances that would make being sick harder. Working while sick also makes you less focused and can cause disruption with your coworkers. You might also stay sick for longer, so stay at home. Your boss and your coworkers will appreciate it. Filming a show with your phone. Although this is now a very common thing to do at a concert, you should never film a concert with your phone. Filming with your phone might make you miss the entire real-life experience as you're watching the concert through your phone's lens instead of enjoying what's right in front of you. Using a phone might also be annoying to the person behind you, as they might not be able to see what's happening on stage. In 2016, a British magazine reported that London's West End Theatre was putting a stop to those who are filming their shows instead of enjoying the performance. It was said that they will shine lasers at people who are using their phone in hopes that singling them out would make them stop. The actor Benedict Cumberbatch actually complained about being distracted by them during his monologues. Filming a concert with a phone would make your video sound horrible, and you'd never watch it again anyways. So put that phone away and jump or dance instead. You're seeing a show after all. What do you think? Should people use their phones during concerts? Using mental disorder terms as a joke. Using mental illnesses as adjectives or jokes in a public conversation might rub some people the wrong way. Society still has a hard time learning about mental illness, but to some people, they represent an everyday battle. You should never use mental disorders as an adjective to put an emphasis on your jokes or dislikes. One of the popular words teens use these days is triggered. But little do they know that while their so-called triggers are usually just jokes and an over-exaggeration, the word triggered is very serious with people facing post-traumatic stress disorder. Have you heard someone saying that they are so OCD? It might seem like an innocent statement, but OCD can be a very serious problem for people. Terms like these shouldn't be taken so lightly, and they definitely shouldn't be used as a joke. Using such language can easily cause harm to others without us even knowing. Such phrases might seem innocent to you or even to your friends, but it might accidentally trigger unwanted memories and thoughts to a bystander who heard your conversation. Language is powerful, and we must be careful how we use it in public. Being late. Were you ever late for a dinner date or a meeting? This is a subject of discussion, but many have stated that being late shouldn't be socially acceptable. We've all heard the terms, such as being fashionably late, but have you ever waited for someone for more than 30 minutes? We bet it didn't feel that good. The truth is, being late doesn't have any rules, and it really depends on the event you're attending. Late for a party? It might not be a huge thing, but late for a meeting at work? That's a whole other issue. In a workplace environment, being late could even get you fired if it turns into a pattern, but some people have what is called chronic lateness, and Psychology Today explained that these individuals just really don't want to be early. They see it as a waste of time. Instead of arriving early and making the time valuable, they do other things and arrive late. But arriving early can make a really good impression on your boss, friend, or your dinner date. The best way to make sure you're not offending someone by being late is to communicate the situation to them as quickly as possible. What about you? Are you always late or always early? Using your phone during a lunch date. Have you ever gone out with a friend and noticed the two of you spend more time on your phones than actually talking to each other? You wouldn't be the first one. We live in a world where we are constantly connected to our gadgets and have almost forgotten what it's like to live without them. But being on your phone when you're in the company of another person might be pretty offensive, especially if you're on a date. Using your phone on a date and not paying enough attention to the person you're with usually doesn't end that well. The same goes with when you're in the company of your friends. Using your phone during dinner or lunch is really obnoxious. Pew Research Center conducted a research in 2015 and found out that 88% of the respondents don't agree with those who use their phones at a social event. It shows that you probably have something better to do and to pay full attention to the person you're with. But there is a clever way to deal with this problem. Simply pile up all phones in the middle of the table. The person who picks up their phone first has to buy everyone's lunch. Playing loud music. Whether you're using public transportation or jamming to your music in your car, you should ask yourself if it's really necessary. If you've spent some time on public transportation, you've probably seen some people playing their music loudly through their phone instead of listening to it on their headphones. If you do this, you might not realize it, but loud music can cause a lot of disturbances to your fellow commuters. You might make someone's headache even worse, or even wake up a sleeping baby. In London, young people can actually lose their free transportation privileges if they're reported for playing loud music. But listening to loud music, especially in your car or through your headphones, can also cause chronic hearing damage and permanent ringing in the ears. This might change the way auditory nerves are delivered to your brain and have an effect on other parts of your brain. Take it from Phonax audiologist who said people need at least 10 hours of break after hearing extremely loud noise. Audiologists, band members, and others who work with loud sound every day often have to find a solution to prevent hearing loss. So not only is playing loud music in public rude, it can also be very dangerous. Scratch your butt. An itch is an itch, right? Here's a funny thing about scratching your butt. 9 times out of 10, no one will ever tell you anything if you do actually scratch your butt in public. But why is this considered socially unacceptable? Well, considering where you're putting your hand, that part of the body is definitely not the cleanest. You should avoid scratching your butt for hygienic reasons, but if you do, make sure you always wash your hands. Did you know that Jennifer Lawrence actually managed to offend the whole island of Hawaii when she scratched her butt on some sacred rocks and even managed to break a rock in the process and led people to believe it's a curse? Nope, it was just Jennifer Lawrence scratching her butt. She laughed about it on a talk show, but the public wasn't happy about it. Many demanded an apology for her actions and labeled her as disrespectful toward Hawaiian culture. Jennifer might be one of those quirkiest and relatable Hollywood actresses we know, but do you think she's taken this a little bit too far? Lesson learned. Leave butt scratching adventures back home unless you think it's serious. Then you should always see a doctor. What is socially acceptable but shouldn't be? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a big thumbs up. Speaking of unacceptable, check out our 10 accidentally inappropriate signs that will make you laugh. Thanks for watching.